Hey guys, it's Victoria here, and today I'm coming to you all with another video about US30. Show you the trades that I took yesterday and today, and how I trade with the trend, because I'm always getting questions about, how do you know what trend you're in? And I think this is very, very, very important, right, for you to learn early, or, if you haven't learned this, this is a good time to get started. Right, but before we do have to put a disclaimer out there, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. Please trade with discretionary funds. Trading is risky, okay? Make sure that you're not over leveraging your account, and especially with US30. It is one of those indices that you will blow out your account, okay? So be mindful, okay, guys? With that, let's move on. So we talked about, well, one of the questions, like I was saying, was how do you know where you are in the trend? And I'm going to draw it out for you all, okay? This is very, very, very important. I'm going to start with the bull trend. Looks like this. Then we're going to go into the bear and back into the range, okay? So this is the bull, okay? And this is the bear. Okay. Now, the cycle, it can be 3 days. Some, like for US30, I've seen it do the 3 days, and I'll show you exactly what I mean on a live chart. Other currency pairs, Forex pairs, I would say 3 levels, okay? Because sometimes it could take anywhere from 3 to 5, sometimes even 10 days for these levels to complete, for these pushes to complete. Why? Because you have these areas of consolidation that, really just take over the chart, right? And we're going to talk about that. Okay. So then the most important part is the 3 ADR, because each one of these pushes needs to complete an ADR. And what is the ADR? That's your average pip range for that particular pair or indice that you're trading, okay? So down here, this is considered, and again, this is peak to peak, right? We want to trade with the trend. So this is called your peak formation low, all right? This is your peak formation high, and then back down again to your peak formation low, okay? So also, I'm going to draw some consolidation lines there too. Okay, so we use, for this strategy, we use 5 EMAs, right? So there's the 5, there's the 13, there's the 50, there's the 200, and then there is the 800. Now, oftentimes I just use these 4 here, okay? So we said 3 levels, 3 pushes, 3 ADRs. Now, this is representative of the H1. Okay. Again, this can happen on every time frame, but for the US30 and with the majority of the pairs, guys, you always want to kind of use H1 and H4 as your higher time frames to see where you are in the levels, and then you can go drop down to M15 to execute your trade. Okay. So down here, you will typically see the 5 and 13 cross. Okay. This is level 3 down here, guys. All right. And then this is, let me change the color. All right. Let's do it like this. All right. So we said this is level 3. This would be your 5 and 13 cross, or you can take the trade when prices are above the 13 EMA. Okay, you can do that too. This is, so this is your WVVM. So clearly this is your W, this is your V1, this is your V2, and then clearly this is your M. okay? And then obviously you're gonna have consolidation there too. And this is your bear, right? So you're gonna have your N, A1, A2, and then W. So just think about the song, 1, 2, 3, reverse, okay? 1, 2, 3, reverse. So we said this is 3, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. This is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what's happening here, guys? Okay, this right here, we said this was your 5 and 13. You're going to know that you're finishing the cycle for your previous cycle once prices push up. Okay, this, guys, I'm telling you, could last 2 to 3 days. This level could last 2 to 3 days. This level can last 2 to 3 days. This level can last 2 to 3 days, right? Level 1 consolidation can also last, 1 to 2 days. I mean, this is how you know where you are. You don't want to get caught in consolidation. So I'm just kind of giving you a heads up there, right? So we said this is 5 and 13. Level 1 is going to be your 13 and your 50. Level 2 is your 50 and your 200. And level 3 is your 200. Does that look like a 2? No, it doesn't. Let's go do that again. That wasn't a 50. There we go. And then here we have your 200, 800, and then oftentimes you might see 50 and 200. And the same thing's going to happen here too, guys, right? You're going to have your 5 and 13 up here. I love going short, guys. It's like my favorite thing to do, right? So my favorite thing to do is to short the market because I love to buy things when they're on sale. So, why would it be any different in trading, right? Okay, so then I think I deleted my 1, but this is 1, guys. So again, this is your 13 and 50. And this is level 2, and this is your 50 and 200. And then again, like we said, this is your, this could be 50, 200, or it could be your 200 and 800 cross. Okay, so each one of these pushes, right, is an ADR, right? So let's say the ADR is 50. Okay, it has to complete, right? And again, remember we're talking about H1. So on the intraday, which is your N15, you're also going to have this same pattern. Okay. Also going to have this here. I know it's not pretty, but it's literally me trying to do this WVVM inside here, right? And that is literally going to be your ADR completing, right? It has to happen again there to complete. Sometimes you could probably see 2 cycles of that in level 2, right? You can see that oftentimes. And that's literally the market working to complete the ADR so that it can move on to the next level. Okay. So we were saying that this 50 ADR. So let's say that completed, right? And we have another 50 pips here, 50 pips here, and then your 50 pips here, right? So we're not necessarily counting this one because we're talking about this bull cycle, but this is cool. We can still, you're going to see it there. It's not like you ignore it, but just know that level 3 from the previous cycle has completed once this 50 pips are done, right? So now you know that there's 3 ADR, right, to finish out the cycle. So what's 3 times 50? Okay, that's 150. Right? So this particular pair needs 150, pips to complete the ADR. So you'll see some people, they'll enter the trade right here and they'll ride it all the way up to here. And then they're like, oh, I got, over 100 pips or whatever, right? That's how they did it. Okay. It's like they did it. And they suffered through the consolidation. That's another thing you want to be mindful of. So, and what I've noticed, guys, is when prices push out of the previous cycle into the new cycle, you're in level 1 consolidation. This could often be 1 to 2 days, right? I've seen sometimes where even level 2 consolidations lasted 3 days. Definitely level 3 consolidation, just depending on the pair or what has been happening with that particular currency pair indice, this could also last 2 to 3 days. Sometimes it lasts 1 day. It just really depends. But just know after each one of these pushes, you're going to go into consolidation. So that's how you can avoid it. Okay. So once prices come up here to the peak formation high, we're looking to go short. Okay. So you're waiting for this consolidation to finish, and you're waiting for prices to go down so you can take that short once 5 and 13 cross, right? Boom, now you're in level 1 consolidation. Okay, you want to wait, and then 1350 cross happens, boom, take that down. Okay, another ADR, 50 is done. Level 2, 50 ADR is done. And then level 3, you have another 50. And then now you're back in the range, right? Consolidating, waiting for the cycle to begin, however long it's going to take. Okay, so guys, that is the bull and the bear cycle, right? 1, 2, 3, reverse. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to go on to the next. Show you some of the live charts here. I'm going to show you US30. I took US30 yesterday. This was going, I took this quick short right here, right? Because we are clearly approaching level 2 there, because prices 50 hadn't quite crossed yet, but it gave me an opportunity. So I took it. I got those 250 pips, and I was done with that trade, right? I went to sleep. Okay. And then today, I got 760 pips in New York. So as you can see here from yesterday, I took those pips there. Markets were doing a whole bunch of consolidation. So I wasn't getting into this market. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not getting into this mess. So what I was waiting for was a clear signal for me to go and take this long. And so I went ahead towards the end of the day and I took this long. But you have to be careful sometimes with US30 if you're not paying attention. At the end of the day, sometimes they like to push the market up really quickly and people will hop in. So you want to get in and get out, get your pips and get out, because you don't know what they're going to do. Sometimes they can continue, and I believe this one is continuing. We're going to see it live. It's continuing on long, but sometimes it might get up here and get some resistance, and then it might, go down a little bit and then go back up, right? So just be mindful of that, all right? I also wanted to show you this works with stocks too, okay? As you can see here, let me annotate this. You see the M up here. Okay, you see that, you see I don't have usually the yellow EMA is the 5, but I just have the 13 and the 50 here. So this is level 1, okay? And then right here we have level 2. And with the stocks, it's just longer. You can see it's like several days, right? So there's my M. Consider that my A. I'm going to consider this my A. Oh, this is kind of ugly. And then look at my W here, level 3 consolidation for days. I think we can count it like this, like 4 days before it finally got out of there, right? It finally got out of there, guys. And so today, I saw this opportunity. We did this little V here, because remember, this is my W, this is my V. So it pulled back a little bit and I took this long right here, right? So this is where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm waiting for it to hit my take profit. Boom, for this trade, and then we'll see what happens next, right? So now let's go ahead to the live chart, guys, so that you guys can see. You can see what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right. So we're looking at US30. Okay. Remember, we just went over the cycles. So look at this. You know, I'm not playing, right? Look at this, guys. Let me slow smaller. There we go. All right, I'm going to annotate this again. So there's your M. This looks like my A right there. It's like another A here, and then W. Okay. You see right here is my 5 and 13 cross. Here is my 50 and 200 cross. So that was level 1, level 2, and level 3. Okay. And you're going to notice, I don't know if you guys can see the dates. Let me move this. This annotation thing here is getting in my way. Oh, there we go. I just moved it out of my way. Okay. So remember we talked about the three days, 3 levels, and then 3 ADR. Okay. I went ahead and drew these on here, put these on here for you all so you can see. And I added a 4th one here because sometimes it does extend beyond the actual 3, and sometimes it'll hit 4, right? But oftentimes it gets pretty close. And so you know that this thing is getting ready to turn around, right? So we have our M up here. And this is a multi-session M. As you can see, the first leg was here, second leg was there. So that's another indication that you are in level 3 because you're having a multi-session M. Okay, right here would have been the 5 and 13 cross that would have completed level 3. Okay, so that would have been 3. And then here is your 13 and 50, like what we just talked about. So that's level 1. There's your 50 and 200, level 2. And the thing about the US30, I don't typically see the 800 and the 200 coming together. Like I hardly see that happening. But because I know what the cycles look like, I know what to expect, right? I know that the next step from here is going to give me level 3. And then look again, we have a multi-session W because it started on Wednesday, finished on Thursday to go long. And this one was actually 1, 2, 3 days going short. So I'm expecting 1, 2, 3 days going long before the market goes back down again. Okay, that's exactly what I'm expecting. And we can see here, you know, these levels of the ADR it guides us, guys. It totally guides you. So when you're wondering, you know, how do you trade with the trend, that this is it, right? Understanding this cycle is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how to manually draw this on your chart. There's a couple of things here that you'll notice on here. I have some indicators. This is a peak formation high and a peak formation low indicator that I have on my chart. And I have, you know, a couple of entry signals. This is just a regular entry. This is like the beast mode entry, right? So I have them on here for extra confluence. And here, what's very important is the Asia Open. This represents when the markets opened on Sunday. This is your Asia high. Okay, let me annotate that. This is your Asia high up here, and this is your Asia low. So this sets the weak psychological support and resistance. That's exactly what it does, right? So this week, here we are with Asia high and Asia low. It's set the support, the psychological support and resistance for the week. So I have them on here to only for 2 weeks, right? It's really all I need. I don't need to draw support and resistance lines from 1999 Okay, I just don't need to. All I need to do is look left for like 2 weeks, and that's it. That's all I need to do. Okay. So it takes the stress away. And I'm telling you, when I first learned how to trade, I did not understand this. It took me a long time, to understand, this MAAW, because it wasn't first taught to me, right? This was not taught to me. I had to figure this out. I was on YouTube, I was getting bits and pieces of it. And oh, that's not, guys, I know you probably caught that. It's WVBM. That's what we want, right? That's what we want for the bull cycle. So it took me a while to figure it out because I didn't have anyone to teach me this first, to show me this first. I learned, the first thing I ever learned was draw a bunch of lines on your chart and, try to figure out what's support and resistance. And oh, I struggled with that like you wouldn't believe. So I'm like, this makes zero sense to me. So that led my search to find out, what, it just led me here. I just somehow got to this point to where I learned how to see the market a different way, using the cycles, the market maker cycles. Okay. So we were talking about Asia high and low, right? So what important thing you need to know, guys, you always want to trade against the peak. You do not want to trade towards it. You just don't. You're going to lose. I have tried to counter this thing and it just doesn't work, right? When it's going short, it's short. When it's going long, it's long. I don't like to scalp. Like, I don't like to go into 5 minutes and scalp the market or do 1 minute. It's just not my thing. For me, it's just way too stressful. So what I found with this cycle is that you can get in and ride this thing, right? You can know where your points are going to be and where you can also use these areas as your take profit areas. Okay. You can also do that, right? And remember, this is your ADR. Okay. So we talked about the Asia high and low, how this opens and it prints on my chart when the market opens, and it's my psychological support and resistance. So from last week, our whole point was to trade away, not only from the peak, but we're trading away from psychological, right? This is very important because guess what's going to happen this week, right? We're in a new peak formation low. So we're looking for every single reason to go long, right? We absolutely are. Markets opened here. This is my psychological support and resistance. So guess what? I'm looking to trade against that. And I'm going to come right here to last week's. This is a very good area of interest for me because obviously price is going to come back to the high, right? And guess what they're going to do? They're going to go back down. Okay. It's typically what's going to happen. Oftentimes you might get a reset where you have one ADR, right? And if you do get a one ADR and then it starts to bounce off of the Asia range. Now, when you go down to 15-minute, you'll notice when this reset's going to happen, it starts to bounce off of that and then give you a W, then boom, you're reset, right? Now it's reset. Now you're going to continue with the bull cycle as opposed to resetting, or not really resetting, but actually reversing and going back down, right? And doing this, right? Because that's typically what we expect, but this can happen at any time. Okay, it can totally happen where the market decides that it's going to give you one ADR and it's going to bounce off the Asia range, and then it's going to retest the Asia range, and then boom, it's going to go up. And then now you're in a continued bull cycle. Okay, so we talked a little bit of that in the previous video. I'll be sure to add it to this one. You guys will know where it's at. But yeah, I mean, this is it. Okay, now let me show you real quickly how you're manually going to add your lines to your chart. Now, this indicator is telling me ADRs for 45,315. So I can literally draw a square here and make that 45. Does it say 45, 315? Let's see. That's good enough. I'm going to put this down here. And then I'm going to hold my control. And then I'm going to take this on up. Okay. I'm going to do another one just for good measure. Okay. Because we already can expect this thing's going to come up there, right? So then I'm going to take my little trend line here. All I did was, this is my little trend thing there, and I did that, right? Take this, I'm going to put them there. Okay. Just going to draw these lines. That's how you manually do it. You can leave the boxes there if you want to. But I find this a little bit too noisy. So I eventually just take them off. And now I have my 3 ADR. And remember, this is going to help me to know where I am in the cycle, because now I'm looking for every reason to go long. I do believe this is going to go down a little bit and then continue to go back up. That's what I'm expecting it to do, because we need the price to come back up here, right? And then tell us what it's going to do, right? It needs to come back up here to this high, right? And either drop, right? Or reset and continue up. I don't know what's going to happen. No one knows, right? The market can do it. The market does whatever it's going to do. So the cool thing about this indicator as well, once one ADR is reached, guys, it is going to highlight in red. That's the default color, and you know the ADR is complete. Once that is complete, I recommend that you go and mark it. Okay. Mark that complete. All right. Like this, something like that. Just mark the thing. This is considered a push, so I'm going to mark that one. Right. Okay. As you can see here, you can see right here is the 13 and 50. This is level 1. And as you can see here is the 50 and 200. Okay, we're going into level 2. And then level 3 is going to be up here. Nice M for us. Okay, so in level 2, you can counter this thing, right? You can totally counter it. And with US30, usually in your normal pairs, you don't want to counter level 1. As you can see, look at this consolidation. I mean, it was not pretty at all. Okay. It was not pretty. So, but I was able to counter it last night anyway. And I took about 200 some odd pips right there. Just want to be careful when you do it. Okay. But in normal pairs, you normally cannot counter level 1. It's really difficult. You might get lucky and sometimes you might not. Okay. So just keep note of that. All right. So here, let me just go over this again, because remember, I just drew this for you, right? I drew this on the other chart, and here it is for you. Here's another thing to note. We are in level 3 up here, right? Level 3 down here. Notice that this is giving you a multi-session M. You see that? Gave you the M from Friday to Monday, the first leg, and the second leg from Monday to Tuesday, right? And then this is where we would have taken that trade right there. We would have shorted that thing. Okay. So we have level 3 up here. Okay, we have level 1 right here, level 2, and back to level 3. And look here, we have a multi-session W. You can see first leg was on Wednesday to Thursday, and then the second leg was all on Thursday. Sometimes we don't get this lucky where we can trade short and long in one session like this. Okay, sometimes it doesn't happen. Anything can happen with US30. I mean, this is actually a beautiful market maker cycle that printed for us in US30. So I'm really happy that I was able to show this one live, you know, just like the drawing. Okay, sometimes it's just not pretty like this, but boom, this can ask for anything better than this, right? Like this one is not looking so pretty going long, but we know this is 1, we know this is 2, and then we're expecting level 3 up here, and we're expecting this M. So again, it might drop down like it is doing right now, and I expect it to go back up right there, and then boom, we should be able to reverse someday, or not someday, but sometime on Tuesday to go back down. It might be the end of the day, who knows? So who knows, right? It could happen on Thursday, or excuse me, on Wednesday. But yeah, this is it, guys. I mean, oh, that's kind of ugly. I need to draw the, draw you the bull cycle one more time. Okay, something like that. Again, 3, 1, 2, 3, reverse. Okay, just have fun with it. Don't beat yourself up if you don't understand this right away. What I recommend that you do is to pull up a chart. Pull up a chart. Look at US30, right? Look at what I went over today and do the same thing. Okay, that's the only way you're going to learn this. Spend time with the chart. And just watch this video again and again and again, and then ask questions, right? Always ask questions for clarity, and I promise that you will get it. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get it at first, because like I shared with you guys earlier, it took me a while to get this because I was too busy trying to draw lines, trying to find out where support and resistance are, and that just did not make sense to me. But trust me, this makes sense, right? It makes sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you. And I hope that you're able to use this in your trading. Let me know how you do. I'd love to hear. If you want to send me your chart, I'd love to see it. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.